probably due out later this year.
What's that? Well, no, I have.
You have another question?
All right, very impressive. We got the opening going on, and we're here again, back tonight with a very gifted woman. Oh, help me because your name is so beautiful, but I have to get it right. Tenille Genet.
Tenille Genet, perfect.
Okay, it's very French, very exotic, very beautiful. Yes. But thank you for making the time and coming. Certainly, we're going to get the show going. We got stuck in traffic, and let me tell you, on Fridays when you come back to the city, boy, do we have to be ready or what, right?
You gotta be ready.
It's just so difficult, and it's completely understandable. We're going to have a good time. We're going to have a good show. I want to thank Gloria Messer, Arthur English, and of course, my makeup artist, Kelly Camacho. Look at what I'm doing. Showing the earrings, KC Designs. There you go. I had to take the necklace out because there was a little sound over there in the background. And Gloria said, I hear that cracking there. Sissy, please. So, okay. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thank you for making the time. We met back, I think, in February.
Earlier this year.
Early this year. We met at Evan Ginsberg's in Long Island. Yes. He's a very kind man, and he definitely brings a lot of very different, talented people. He's always searching for talent. And when we sat down together, I said, Sissy, you gotta meet this woman. She's very, very talented. And I said to Evan, yeah, of course, I'm looking forward to it. Soon enough, when I sat there and I just sit on the couch, it's so easy to fall asleep because everybody's so comfortable. And Evan is such a great host. He's such a great man, but such a great host. I just sit and relax. And I was a little sleepy the night before. I didn't sleep much. And then when you open your mouth, I said, whoa, wait a second, she is good. I want it on my show, so that's why we're here.
Awesome. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, so let's talk about, before we start singing, let's talk about your craft, music.
Okay. What exactly do you
Well, basically how the upbringing with music, is a little feedback there, so I step a little backwards. I don't know if it was you or me, but we're gonna make sure that we're okay. From the upbringing, do you have a mic with you? No, you don't. Oh, so you're gonna have to use that mic. Okay. Yep. So basically, let's talk about your first musical memory when you decided to do this and why.
Well, I was brought up in a very musical family. Like my entire family plays instruments and sing and write songs and the whole nine. So the influence was very much early on, though I didn't know that's what I really wanted to do until maybe I was 15, 16. And that's kind of where the journey began. So I was born and raised in Little Rock, Arkansas. I got an acting scholarship actually to move here to New York. So I came here on an acting scholarship.
Interesting.
And after that, I realized that's not, I would like to get back into that, but music is more personal to me and it's my real passion. So here we are.
Here you are. Yeah. Now, singing, like writing your songs, how does it work for you? Because for every artist, for every musician, I'm assuming it's a very different process. Some people, they like to write songs very quickly. Some people, they take time. Sometimes I have some people in the past, they say, I like to keep track of my dreams, keep notes, keep diaries, because somehow the subconscious takes place.
Yeah, I'm not very good at like keeping a diary because I don't write any songs down there all in my head. So I remember everything. I don't write anything down when I write songs.
Okay.
What I usually do is just use a recorder, and when I get a melody, I just record it.
And they come to you wherever you go?
wherever I go, like I get inspiration from everything. Like a lot of my first EP is a lot of it is about my life and my relationships. Like the title of my EP is I Like Girls and I Love Jesus. So like that
Beautiful.
whole body of work is like my experience and me accepting me for who I am and just kind of like tying everything together. But of course, also, you know, I'm walking around and I deal with people all the time. I look at their experiences and I write from their experiences. So every song is not about me. But you know, it's all of us can relate somehow, some way, because it's all tied into.
Right, and living in New York, what do you think? Do you think this is the greatest place to be?
I love New York.
You do?
I'm from Little Rock, Arkansas, so the comparison, it's not much to really compare. So
right.
It's like you pick New York over Arkansas any day.
And
I love Arkansas.
Of course, but even coming and living here, making a living here, paying bills, surviving, fighting for your dreams, it's very hard.
It's very tough, yeah.
So how do you keep it alive? I'm assuming that you have, I can tell that you're very close to the Lord above. And certainly that gives us the strength to do what we do. But in your case, how do you get that strength? And putting God aside, what makes you stronger? What makes you tough? What makes you say, okay, this is the place that I want to be. I know I'm good at it, and I'm going to stick to my guns.
I want it more than I don't want it.
Okay.
I want it more than I don't. So when I feel like I'm not going to make it, which I have those days, not only am I surrounded by positive people that are encouraging, and every time I go out, I get such a great feedback from my music, which also encourages me. At the end of the day, when I feel like, what am I doing? And like, am I really going in the right direction? I want it more than I don't.
We have a little feedback there. I don't know if you can sense it. I can feel it, but we're just working on it. Wait, where you came from?
Brooklyn.
We have
Crown Heights.
tape is rolling. Can I
All right.
fly it? We're coming up in 60 seconds.
Okay.
Fly 30 seconds. Sissy, remember to sit with your back the way.
Right. You got the cracking.
Yeah.
Okay. Are we taking pictures, guys?
Oh, yeah.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, so we got some.
And some video too.
Good.
Yeah.
Oh, good. So you record the song then, right?
Yeah, pieces of it, yeah. I
The
got
thing
bits and
is
pieces.
coming up quiet on the set.
Where'd you get this music? Oh, we can't talk. Sorry.
Yeah, that was a rough cut, but I love it. I love you, Gloria. It took some time to take off. Sometimes when we do the show, you have to consider that we're in an open studio. We're dealing with lighting. We're dealing with sound. We're dealing with traffic. We're dealing with adversity, obstacles, and we still have to do what we have to do. That's why this show is quite a test. That's our guest, by the way. We had that little lower third right in the bottom of our screen. Tenille Janet. That's
Yes.
the name of the guest tonight. She's a very gifted, talented musician. I met her back in February. Evan Ginsburg was the man who made it happen. He hosts his own show in Long Island, and we collaborate together. He's a very smart guy. He's a people person, and he loves artists. And he said to me, Sissy, you have to meet this girl when you come on Saturday. That was a few months back. He said, you gotta meet this girl. She's quite remarkable. She's beautiful, beautiful hazel green eyes, but you have to see her singing. And when I went over there, I was not surprised, obviously.
Thank
Laying
you.
down on that couch, almost falling asleep. Not because I was bored, because everything is so comfortable, right?
Right, of course.
With Evan, and he makes it so easy for the guest that I was having such a great time, and I was relaxing, and I said, oh, God. And then I hear you singing. I said to myself, boy, she's good.
Thank you.
Thank you for making the time. A very mellow style. You got edge. I'm not a music critic, but you have that edge.
You can be
about
honest.
you.
I'm cool.
Very sultry, very edgy, soft. It seems like you're giving it, but you're not giving it. You're holding to your own ground. You're holding to your own style with a give it away. I think you have your own. I think you know who you are, and that comes across through your, right, with your music.
Yeah, thank you.
Would you say it right?
Yeah, I'm working on it.
You're working on
Yeah,
it.
it's a
about
constant,
Right.
you know.
It's a process.
Yeah, absolutely.
And finding yourself, finding your voice, is something that it takes time.
Being
and-
true to yourself.
And and it takes courage to
Yeah.
be
Yeah.
truthful. So we're going to talk about your life as a musician, going back in time. And I like always to go back in time and just go back to that first musical encounter, if you can recall
Yeah.
with detail. When was the time that you decided, okay, this is what I want to do. I want to follow my heart. This is my calling. Music is my life. Do you remember?
Yeah, it
that
took
time?
me a while to really know that this is what I want to do for a living, but I was always around it, and I was always listening to music, like growing up. And Whitney Houston was like my idol. Like, you know, you're not necessarily supposed to have idols, but back then, like, she could do no wrong in my eyes. You know, she was perfect. But of course, closer to home, like my family, my aunts, my uncles, my cousins, my mom was a singer, a fantastic singer. I was just surrounded by it. So, you know, it's not a surprise that, you know, I grew up and said, okay, this is what I want to do for a living.
Yeah.
So
You can say it was a deep calling. It was a call from God. Would you say, or it took you some time to decide?
yeah, I'm a late bloomer, so it took me a while to really figure out, like, you know, what I wanted to do. I knew I always wanted to be in entertainment, but back then I didn't play an instrument. I didn't really sing. I didn't really write, so I didn't know.
Right.
And then eventually I got into acting school and I started writing my own scripts, and that turned into writing my own songs. And then I taught myself how to play the piano.
How do you do that? How do you taught yourself to play the piano? How does it work? Because it's unthinkable to me. There's no way I can try as hard as it would never happen.
You know that saying, where there's a will, there's a way? Like, it's
Yes.
really true. Like, when you really, really want something, there are no excuses. And anytime I start making excuses, that's how I know for myself it's not something that I really want. Because when you really want it, there's no excuse. You're
So
going to find a way to make
You
it happen.
find a way to do it. And reading music, I mean, it's...
I won't say I really read music. I understand it, but I play more so by ear.
Okay.
So I'm not classically trained. Like, my relatives are classically trained.
Would
but
you
for-
be willing to take classical training? or
I
it
would
takes a
love
lot
to.
of work,
It
it's
takes a lot of
time.
work, a lot of work. I mean, I would love to, and I so respect it. Like, I know tons of musicians that are just on such another level and out of this world. And anytime I get the opportunity, I just kind of like sit and glean from them and just watch what they do, and then just take it back home and incorporate it into what I do.
Now, writing your songs, when things come to you, how do they come? What kind of stuff do you like to write about? We were even talking before about what's your inspiration, what feeds you, where do you get your ideas? The creative process, how does it work?
I usually get melodies first.
Okay.
You know, I rarely come up with lyrics first. Melody always inspired the lyrics, but I write about life, you know, and I want my music to be as true as possible. Like I really want to touch people's hearts and souls. You know, I'm not here just to entertain, and I appreciate the music that's just to entertain and no substance. But like I want you to feel, you know what I'm saying, and be able to relate. You know, so that's the goal.
What kind of musician are you? What kind of songwriter are you? If you have to,
My
like-
genre,
Yes. How do you define your style?
R&B soul, you know, with the twist. I don't know what type of twist.
Do you like pop music?
I like everything.
You like everything.
Everything.
You like to listen to everything.
Everything, jazz, classical, Chick Corea, like I love that. Like, you know, everything, hip hop, R&B, soul,
Rap.
old classics.
What about
yeah,
rap? Are you into rap much?
I am.
You hesitated a little bit. What's
I am
going on?
not the hardcore,
Right.
but like I love Drake, I love Kanye. I'm a fan.
You're a fan?
I'm a fan. I like it.
I hear you.
I
I
like-
feel you. But you
J.
get
Cole.
a little bit there, like.
It just depends. Like I like, you know, the message a little bit more. Like, you know,
To be more substantial, perhaps.
yeah.
Is
But-
a lot of swearing too much? You think?
I mean, as long as it's a meaning behind it, you know what I
Right.
mean? Not just because, but like
Right.
when sometimes you just need to say it because it just puts the emphasis on the situation a little bit more, and I feel that.
Right.
So, you know, I'm not judging, like, you know,
Right.
if that's how you express yourself, I understand.
What makes a great song, in your opinion?
What makes a great song? If you can, if it resonates with you, like, you know, because I feel like this, like when all the artists that I've mentioned and that has touched me in some way, like it was something that they felt and that they were going through, and because of how true it was to them, it became true for me, or it made me understand their truth without judging.
Right.
Yeah.
Like Whitney Houston spoke to you in a very special way,
In a
because she
very
had an
special
amazing,
way.
incredible
In a
voice.
very special way. She spoke to me.
Like the first time, you remember the first time when you heard her song?
Oh my
What
God.
song? You remember that song? Which song?
Didn't
was
we
any
all?
particular song?
Didn't we almost have it all?
Right.
Yeah, and like her grace and her presence and her style, she was so elegant and so beautiful, and her voice, like, oh man, I would just stop in my tracks. Like you couldn't help but to just like, who is
Yeah.
that? Wow. So yeah,
It's an inspiration, right?
absolutely.
Now, do
On
you
all
find the
levels.
musical business, this may perhaps be a very stupid question, but do you think the musical business is such a hard business to get into? Is it such a hard business to break in New York? Because you are from Arkansas, correct?
I'm from Arkansas, yeah. Yes and no, because I've had the opportunity to meet a lot of people in the industry, but you have to do the work. Like nobody's going to hand you anything, you know. So though I know, you know, musicians and signed artists, they had to do their work, and I'm going to have to do my work too. So
Right.
I have no doubts. You know, I don't know when it's going to like really break, but like I have no doubts.
Yeah, but
that
this
it's
is
gonna
your
break.
calling. This is what you want to do.
This is what I want to
Now,
do.
without music, can you live happy? Or can you conceive your life without music?
Say I never made it, which I don't think that way, but say I never made it to my ideal of success as a singer and songwriter, I would still probably write songs and play the piano.
Even if
after
you're
my day job.
heartbroken, even if you're alone, even if you're in the
That's
worst.
when I write. That's when I
when
write.
the best songs. That's when the best stuff
Oh my
comes
God,
out.
yeah, absolutely. And you know what? I heard, I'm a huge fan of R. Kelly too, and like I love R. Kelly. He's like one of the greatest songwriters, and he's did so much in R&B and hip hop. But he made a comment. He was like, you know, when he was going through the toughest and roughest times in his life, that's when the best material came out.
Right.
And I have to say, though it hasn't necessarily been proven the way it's been proven on his level,
Right.
I feel like I really got great songs when I was really in the midst of a trial, you know, and in a challenging situation. You don't have anywhere else to turn to but
Right.
inside into your craft.
Do you know yourself in a better way because your music? Have you discovered yourself? I don't want to
Yes.
sound corny, but it's a self-discovery journey.
My music has helped me accept me 100%.
It's a healing.
it's a healing. I would say so. Yes, absolutely.
100%.
100%.
When you came to the music, when you decided, okay, this is how I'm going to do it, this is what I'm going to do, I'm going to be writing my songs, I'm going to be a performer, I'm going to be an entertainer.
It took some time to get there because
took some
I
time.
was writing and singing, but I was writing things that, trying to please other people more so
Right, more than yourself.
than being true.
So you think the song is an extension of your soul, your inner
Absolutely.
life?
Absolutely.
It shouldn't be like an imposition, right? From factors, people out there, trends, what people like, what people don't like, what sells, what doesn't sell.
Yeah, you just
ratings.
have to go from the heart.
You gotta go from the
You
heart.
have to go from the heart, and people feel that, even if they don't necessarily, because it's music out there that I may not necessarily like choose to buy, but if it's from their heart, like I'll feel that.
What kind of feedback people tell you when you go to a bar, when you go to a gig, when you perform? What do people tell you at the end?
I had a show this past Friday, and the guy walked up to me and he was like, "I feel your soul." I feel and that made me so happy, because sometimes I don't always know how people are going to receive, my message, my music, or whatever. It's just I have to give it out the way I feel it and the way it is. And for someone to walk up, and a few people would just be like, "I want that song right now. Where can I get it?"
Right.
Like that's such an encouraging. It's so encouraging for me, and it just pushes me to keep going and get it out to the people because they want it,
Right.
and I want them to have it.
Right. This is a very competitive city, as we know. What makes you special? Because I know it's like everybody, all of us, we're special in our own way. And forget about what people, magazines, publicity. Forget about what people say. Everybody has a voice, and each one of us is special.
Right.
In terms of your singing, in terms of your craft, what makes you you? What makes you unique, and what sets you different, special from the rest, from everybody else?
I'm just me. Like I don't really. I know that I'm definitely set apart from everyone else, and not better or worse than anyone else. But I just know I'm a real individual. I am an individual. I have my own mind. I walk to my own drum beat. Like I'm not trying to impress you. I'm not trying
Right.
to be like you, though I can of course get inspired and be prompt to do something or take it to the next step. But I'm an individual, and I think too my spirituality has helped me get to this place. Because when you really see God, like you can't help but be you. You don't look to anybody else for approval.
Right.
You hope that you will be accepted. You hope that you will be respected and loved. But even if you don't, this is who I am.
Right.
So
Right. It seems like you come a long way
I'm working on it. Thank
of
you.
self-discovery.
Yes.
And you're very, if I'm thinking, what's the word that I'm looking for? Yeah, you seem to be in peace with yourself. It doesn't mean that you have the happiest life in the past. You've been through your adversities and struggles. And that's what makes you who you are,
Right.
right?
Yes.
But at the same time,
Which I'm grateful for.
which you're very grateful
Yes.
for.
Yes.
But it seems to me that, yeah, this is your own voice, this is your own life, you're making your own choices, and you're happy with your life.
Right.
Even when times might not be that easy, you look at yourself in the mirror at night and you said, okay, I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. I'm a happy individual.
Right. And you know what? And I hope too that my music inspires other people that feel like me to just, be themselves. Because I've met so many people that are living their lives for their parents or for their community or for the people that's around them and afraid of what they may say.
Right.
And at the end of the day, they're not happy. They look in the mirror and they're not happy because of their surroundings.
Right.
So I hope my message and me, being courageous enough to be who I am and put my music out the way it is, it will inspire them to be themselves.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Big people like Beyonce, Rihanna. What's your take on those?
Nothing but respect. Beyonce is like, at her best after all these years, you know, and she
Right.
keeps bringing it and keeps giving it to you. And obviously this is something that she really loves because she doesn't stop.
Right.
And she keeps hitting the mark, you know,
Right.
and you don't hear anything negative about her, which, you know, I thought
People
about
seem
that
to
the
like
other
her
day.
so much, right?
They say she's really kind and really,
respectful and down
yeah,
to earth and
yeah,
grounded and-
she just does her work and go home and be with her family.
Right.
And
What about Rihanna?
I like Rihanna.
Different, a little slightly
yeah,
different
she's a, you know,
A little different.
Bad
She
girl.
might be a little young. Well,
Yeah.
I mean, you have to go through the bad to see the good,
but I like that.
right?
I like that. If that's who she is, I like that. I respect that.
Yeah,
She has swagger. She's, you know, very attractive. She's talented.
She's very talented. She's not afraid to speak her mind. Nobody should be afraid to speak their minds. But
Right.
she seems to be, she's a young lady who knows what she wants and she knows how to give it.
Mm-hmm.
And she might not sound 100%, I don't know what's the word that I'm looking for. Maybe she's not mature enough. She's still a young woman, right?
And she got major success at a very young
At
age
a
too.
very
So, you know,
young age.
sometimes
So
that
could
can,
be hard to
yeah,
handle.
yeah,
It, in fact,
yeah.
is very hard to handle.
yeah.
Right. But music, certainly, I have a lot of friends and I know people who are trying to break in, and
Mm-hmm.
you always think and pray and hope for the best, because this is a place, we live in a world that everything happens for a reason, and the world got much smaller. With a click, you just,
Hmm. Yeah.
right? With one single
Yeah.
click on the computer, on the phone, look.
Yeah.
Your friend, she's taking pictures, she's taking videos, she's sending to Facebook, she's
Yeah.
tweeting the picture. Hey,
Yeah.
here we are, sending a picture. That's your man right there taking pictures. I mean, the world has changed so fast
Right.
that technology, right?
Yeah, but I think it's a good and bad thing, you know,
It is
because
good and bad,
yeah,
and all in between.
because I don't think we get the best work now. I think it's mediocre.
Right.
You know, and I even saw a documentary on it, and I said it before I saw the documentary. It's like it allows you have to now weed through the mediocre to get to the great stuff because it's
Right.
all out here.
Right.
You know, and like even heard a comedian, I think it was one of the Wayans brothers. He was like, you know, because of technology, people go out with their first show and record themselves and put it up, and it's like, no, dude, do the work.
Do the work, pay the
Wait until
bills.
after 10 years that you've perfected, and now people want to see what you're saying and
Right.
see what you're talking about, and like put it out then. Don't
Right.
do it right away. It's
Right.
too soon.
It's too
Nobody's
soon.
going to pay attention to you. You're still a novice, like, you know.
Yeah, you're a joke.
Yeah, exactly. You haven't perfected it yet. So
Right.
that's the negative part. The good part is, you know, we can allow people to see, you know, what we're doing, and you know, I'm tracking and logging my process now through video. So
That's
like
good.
I'm doing a documentary. So by the time
Great.
the EP is released, you're going to be able to see the steps leading up to.
Okay, Deshaun, do we have still time? I just want to double check, baby. I'm sorry that I cut you off guard, but we're family.
Glow says yes.
Okay, I just want to double check because we have so many uncertainties taking place tonight. And certainly I'm using the studio extra time because I need to. I wanted to have this interview. This is such a gifted woman,
It's
and
so
I want to double
cold in here.
check.
Thanks.
So we'll still keep going, and I know Gloria's going crazy in the control room. What are you doing? She got that voice from like the Golden Girl. We talk about the Golden Girl.
Yeah.
And I said, oh my God. Yeah, she does. Gloria tells you what it is. She tells you how she feels, and when she does, when she's not happy, she's gonna let you know
Yeah.
that she's not happy. And I have
That's
a
the way
lot.
it should be.
Yeah, and I have a lot of respect for that. So we
I feel
get
like
music.
you're the same person though. Like
Yes,
you give
we're
it
very
to the-
similar. I
Yeah.
give my best. I give my heart to what I do. I don't care if it's a show. I don't care if I'm spending time with my piggies at night, if I'm cleaning my toilet,
Yeah,
if I'm
piggies.
cooking the greatest meal, if I'm reading the greatest book, if I'm watching the greatest movie. I give you my best.
Nice.
I truly believe that we're here to improve ourselves. And unfortunately, life can be so hard that we can get down and we can be extremely negative, right?
Yeah.
Because we have so many things to overcome,
That's where spirituality comes into play though.
right?
You know, it's so important, and like, you know, unfortunately, people look at it as kind of corny and like, oh, you're
No,
a
it
Jesus
is
freak
not.
or whatever the case may be, or whatever you believe in. I don't, you know, impose my my beliefs, but I do believe in Jesus. I believe
Me
he's the Son
too.
of God. I think
In
he's coming
God.
back. You
Yes.
know.
And let's
And-
pray the Lord. I do. Every day I said it to my sister, said to my husband, said to my family, I'm grateful with the Lord above for what I have, because I'm breathing, because life is a miracle.
Absolutely.
And life can be gone. We can die. We can drop dead any given time, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And it's not about the money. It's not about the fame and the fortune. Like, you know,
it is not.
You hear people that are wealthy that are taking themselves out, you know, and it's so sad. And that's because there's a void and something's missing. And I truly believe it's, you know, the foundation of like God. You know, you have to have that as your center and your foundation, because days are rough, days are hard, you know, disappointments come left and right. But once you go in, you know, and just release it over and just give thanks to, and that's what I've learned. In every situation, give thanks, no matter what it is.
No matter
give
what
thanks.
it is.
And that just kind of opens up the door for the next level. You know,
Right.
not complaining.
Do you talk to God every day?
Every day. I have to.
You have to. It's a deep
I'm
need.
walking around in New York City. I have to.
And you're going with
I was
all
like,
these
oh,
crazy
Jesus.
people in the
Exactly.
deep train. Come on, get out of my way.
Lord,
Sometimes
give
we're
me
very-
straight.
Yeah, but sometimes we're very close to the Lord, but we lose. You know, people get in.
Well, you're real. You know, you're an individual, and you have emotions, and you have feelings. You have to be real. You know, and that's one of the things that I kind of like don't disagree all the time with church. It's like you kind of take out the person,
Right.
And it's like, listen, you know, I'm an individual. You know, I feel things, I see things, I feel a type
feel
of way.
things, yeah.
Absolutely, and I have to respond to that. Now, there is a way to respond, and I'm growing and trying to, you know,
Right.
handle things.
What makes you angry? What makes you out of crazy? How do you lose control?
I don't lose control too much.
You don't.
Not too
Do you
much.
get angry much?
I get angry. I can't really think of right now what gets me angry.
You don't know what gets you.
I can't think of it right now, but I'm sure like when I stop talking to you and walk away, I'll be like,
Oh, yeah, okay.
that gets me angry.
That one makes me angry. Do you like to follow the news much? Or
A
you
little
like
bit.
to isolate yourself to a different world, because maybe this world is not
Yeah,
good
the news.
enough.
The news is very negative.
Depressing?
Yeah, it's very negative.
Okay.
I mean, you need to watch the news to keep up with what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I prefer to read a good book or something that's uplifting. And you know, right now I'm reading Russell Simmons' book, Do You? So you know,
What's the title?
yeah, that's it. Yeah, Do You? And of course, it's a lot about the industry and you know, trying to accomplish. And he's accomplished a lot. And he talks about many times that he failed and kept going and kept going and kept going, and stand true to himself. You know,
Right.
even when people are like, "It's not going to work. It's
Right.
not
Don't
going to
listen
work."
to many people,
Yeah.
because it can drive you crazy. You gotta listen to yourself, listen to God.
That's not always easy to do, though.
No, I know.
know, so-
how do you block these bananas out? How do you block this negativity and people driving you this way? You go this way, you go that way.
Meditation and good people around you.
Meditation, good people, good
Yeah.
sex, and good life. Good health.
Yeah.
I mean, let's be honest. You gotta be happy. You gotta please
Yeah.
your soul. You gotta please your mind. You gotta please your body. You gotta do what makes you happy.
But sleep with the right person. 'Cause
I
if you
know,
just,
but
you
baby,
know-
it's not that easy to live with the right. I'm a happy woman, but you know how much work it takes to have a good relationship?
yeah, it takes work.
Excuse me.
it takes work.
It takes so much work. And God, it's just that I always say that happiness is in you.
Yeah, and you know what? That's a mistake too, because people look to other people to make them happy.
Right.
And they want to be in a relationship and be like, oh, you know,
Oh, I
it's
can
nothing
be-
out here. It's no material thing. It's no person that's going to make you happy. You know, for me, I realized like my work is what makes me happy. Like when
Right.
I'm accomplishing and working towards that.
Right.
You know, that really makes me happy.
What will be your goal in the future? What's your goal? What's the
I want to
dream?
be known.
What's the
I want to be
highest
known
dream?
internationally. I want everybody in the whole wide world to know my name and know my music.
It's fair
And love and
enough.
respect me.
Do you think it's achievable?
Absolutely.
Nothing is stopping you. Even
Nothing is
even
stopping
if the business gets rough, even people gets jealous, even people gets in your way, you're gonna find a way to have your voice heard. Correct?
Yep.
Nothing is gonna stop you.
Nothing's going to stop me.
You're not your worst enemy. You're not your worst critic. Are you easy with yourself?
No, I'm hard on myself
Why?
because I want it. And I don't like to fail.
You don't like to fail. Why you don't like to fail? You think, oh, I like that icon in the bottom. You see, I love when Gloria gets creative. Now you get the icon on top of the picture. It makes me happy. It's a little sign to say, Sissy, we have to wrap it up. The show is over. Time flies. Time is fast.
Thanks for having me on the show.
No, thank you for coming. I'm so glad that we took the decision to sit down
It's so
and talk.
cold in here, though, so I'm like
It's
fidgeting.
cold. I
Yeah.
know. I saw you. That's why I had my jacket on.
You didn't
Oh,
warn me.
Yeah,
You
I'm
didn't
sorry.
tell
I
me.
forgot. Sometimes I honestly, bring it on and say, guys, bring a sweater, bring a scarf, bring a pillow, bring a whatever, bring your bed, whatever. But, I just want to thank everybody. Arthur English, Charles Casano, Gloria Messer, Alex de Romero, my own father, who's an incredible journalist and a writer and an inspiration of mine.
Nice.
Consistent support. My mom, an incredible doctor and a wonderful mother.
What type of doctor?
She's a general
Okay.
practitioner.
Nice. Okay.
And devoted to her family, devoted to my family, my husband, my twin sister. I have a twin sister, Mercy, who's my other half. I love her to death. I love you with all my heart. My brother, my nephews, my husband, my friends, my teachers, Gloria Messer, everybody for helping me to do my show. I'm grateful to the Lord above. I'm grateful every week for having the opportunity to sit and do what I do. And this is fun,
That's fun.
to sit down and talk to people.
Yeah.
I do my reading, I do my work, I do a lot of reading. And you want to be a good host, or you want to be a good, in interviews, you have to do a lot of reading. It's essential to read.
That's good.
It's
Reading,
very-
reading helps you live longer too.
Oh, absolutely.
It keeps
And
the mind
laughter,
sharp.
right?
Yes, yes, yes.
It's good to shed a tear in the shower. And God knows that I cry in the shower. But
Aw.
it's good to laugh.
Yeah.
My advice is laugh as much as you can. Love, peace, and happiness, guys. See you next week. Thank you for watching.
Cool.
We're done.
Awesome.
Okay?
Thanks so
It
much.
was a good interview, right?